My name is Professor Abraham Atta Ogwu. I attended Freeman High School in Lagos, Nigeria from 1973 to 1978. It was a great honor and privilege for me to have attended Freeman High School. I'm truly very fond of the time that I spent in Freeman, and I have continued to maintain the friendships that I formed during my time in Freeman High School. We now have a bifoba WhatsApp user group, and I am actively involved with that group. Coming to Freeman High School for me was a very interesting journey and a very interesting pathway. I had a close friend and a neighbor at the time who also attended Freeman High School. His name was Mr. Benga Kujembola. He was 3 years ahead of me. He spoke to me about Freeman High and said, "Oh, we have a Founders Day." At that stage, I was still in primary school, and I want you to come with me to the Founders Day. So I was quite intrigued about what they did in the Founders Day, because I don't think we had that in the primary school that I attended. So I went with him, and I saw all the activities there. And lastly, as we were about to leave the school, I saw him talking with the principal, who was from the UK, Mr. White, about some things. And I saw, oh, even the principal of the school was very friendly. So it crossed my mind that, look, this would be a good school for me to attend. Of course, there was the entrance examination to take and other things, but I was really very keen to attend the school. And today I'm very thankful that further down the line, I was able to attend Freeman High School. I have been a professor in the UK in the field of material science and engineering since the year 2002. And I can say a lot of the things I did in later life were down to the foundation I received in Freeman High School. Then Benga's uncle was a teacher in Freeman, and he also suggested to my parents that it would be a good idea for me to go through the competitive entrance examination and interview into Freeman. That was Chief Ebenezer Bapatokwe, who at the time was a history teacher and our neighbor in the next building where I lived in Surulere at the time. So lo and behold, I took the entrance examination, and I was really very keen on coming to Freeman. The other few schools that I attempted to get into at the time were boarding schools. So I was also looking forward to them rejecting me so that I could go to Freeman, because I wanted to be in a day school and go from home. So unfortunately, so the King's College, after the interview, did not admit me. So I was very happy that I was going to come to Freeman. And then I recalled two key people when we were taking the entrance exam to Freeman. The principal, Mr. Ogwu, he had an oratory power that really struck me, that really influenced me, even at that stage of coming for the interview in Freeman. We had the entrance exam, and then we had the interview. And also, the person who interviewed me at the interview stage was Mr. Babajide. And he was asking me very probing questions like, young man, you want to come here. And when you finish from here, what are you going to do next? And I said to him, oh, I want to be a lawyer. I want to practice law. And he was, how could you make up your mind at such an early age about it? But all those are the things that really attracted me. I also had other seniors, some of them who had finished from Betrimman High School, who lived in the neighborhood. But Mr. Ojo, the principal, I continue to remember his influence on me. I wanted to wake up every morning and go and listen to Mr. Ojo in the assembly hall. He was a motivational speaker. And then when we started the classes, and just before we started the classes, I looked at the handbook and looked at the subjects that we had to do in Betrimman. I'd never encountered them before. There was this subject called technical drawing. I just couldn't make a sense of what is technical drawing. There was music. So I'd never studied music in primary school. I would listen to the choir and all that. I just didn't understand music. How do you write it? How do you document it? There was French. I heard people on the radio, on the TV speak French. I was clueless about how to speak French. And it was very exciting for a young boy like me at the time to understand that now I'm going into an environment where I would learn this thing. But what really struck me most was the fact that my understanding of history changed when I got to Betrimman and I encountered Mr. Bayisho Mori, who was now teaching us both classics and history together. Those things that he taught us at that stage, they have remained with me. They have formed the foundation of my further probe into the philosophical underpinnings of how things work in the world, the psychological underpinnings, the sociological underpinnings. Mr. Bayisho Mori really struck a chord with me, and I think it was a real great privilege. And then there was Mr. Babaride, who was now giving us the rubrics, the mechanics of how the English language itself worked and how we could use it, in a very constructive way. Then I met with seniors, and two of our prefects when we were in Form 1 really had a great influence on me. So there was Prefect Edward Udofia. He was such a nice person and a mentor to me. I always remember him even now. And there was the senior prefect, Mr. Joe Awodeha. He was also great. They were a source of motivation to me. So, and then we had a range of teachers. And my good friend and brother, Mr. Julius Okpadino, we journeyed to school together every day. And myself and Julius, you really need to see the enthusiasm in our mind in the morning when we set out to go to school. We will discuss the subjects, we will discuss our new friends, and it was such a fantastic environment to be in for us. It was a transforming experience. Then we had colleagues. We had from 1A, from 1B, from 1C, and from 1D. Many of whom are on the WhatsApp forum today. And I made a lot of friends also on the football field. So they are all the stars, all the football stars. Some of them are still on the WhatsApp group today that we played football together. We got to know each other together. And then there was the incidents of the shot put accident that I had and the support that my classmates and colleagues rallied round to support me and to get back into school work and all that. The science teaching in Betrimman was excellent. The mathematics teaching, especially the maths and further maths that we had in the later years, it's the same as you will get anywhere in the world. I tell my children who have schooled abroad that, look, the school I went to is exactly the same as the grammar schools that you are attending now. And sometimes they are confused that, oh, you mean you have those type of schools and those type of teachers in Africa, you learned classics and you learned history. And I say, yes, that's exactly what we had in my time in Beth Freeman High School. So it's been a fantastic experience. It's been a fantastic journey. The best friends, some of the closest friends I've ever made are friends I made in Beth Freeman High School. And Beth Freeman High School prepared me very well for my undergraduate degree training. It was so interesting that I could arrive in the University of Ife, and when I was just a first year undergraduate, before we started lectures, I could help people in the second year with engineering drawing because I had been exposed to 5 years of technical drawing in Beth Freeman. That was the type of quality of training that we had. I could take a stab at our first year mathematics exam questions even before attending lectures because we had 2 years of what was called additional maths in Beth Freeman. And that has continued to help the journey. I'm so happy that today we have come together to celebrate this 50th anniversary. But this will not be complete without me paying homage to those of my classmates with whom we started that journey in what was then Form 1A in September 1973. And I'm going to start, I just recite the names of my colleagues as a mark of respect to that wonderful class and all the wonderful classes we had from Form 1A then to Form 1D. So in Form 1A, we have people like Ane Akai, Ayola Oke, Obafemi Sikiru Kazim, then Sumola, Babatunde Adenekon, Iyang Abita, now Okut Iyang, Eric Igalo, Adewole Adeoye, Akinola Ogundimu, of blessed memory, Babajide Agbeleshe, Okechukwu Okegbu, Adebayo Faboyede, of blessed memory, Sam Ayaku, Uche Kalu, Obafemi Kolapo, Olufemi Animashaun, Olusegun Shobanjo, of blessed memory, Olusegun Adefala, Olusegun Adekala, Uche Kalu, Rotimi Obikoya, Gbọ́láhàn Carol, Ọlákúnlé Rósanwó, Fẹ́mi Ọ̀ṣífowórà, my very self, Ọmọyẹ̀bágbé Ẹ̀bánẹ́hìtá, Osezua Obuani, Táyé Ọmọ Ìkẹrọdá, Michael Tokumbo Ogunaike. This was the class at the time, and this was the smallest class I had ever had because in my primary school we used to have far more students placed in the class. So it was a very unique environment. All of my teachers were really good quality teachers. There was a lot of commitment, and also there was entertainment. So we used to have the join the bandwagon, and they will come and record these programs in our school. And parents will be coming in to look at why their awards have not come home. Why are they delayed today? And it was really nice when I listened to the radio and then I heard the same programs that I attended after school in Beth Freeman being replayed. We had a lot of seniors. Then again, I remember vividly, I loved the football. I used to watch our seniors play. And one of my seniors from primary school, Benedict Oyobio, when we were in primary school at St. Thomas Aquinas, I didn't see him as such a skilled footballer. But when we got to Beth Freeman, he was my senior, I could just see that talent in him. But he was not the only talented one. There were so many of them. There was Tilo Adigun, who was very good. There was Ogwu. There was Benjamin, who was the goalkeeper. And then you can go on and on and on. But the experience of Beth Freeman for me was a very, very enjoyable experience. And I would continue to support any activity that Beth Freeman is engaged in And I want to congratulate and thank all of my colleagues who have put together this 50th anniversary celebration of our start date in Bethlehem. Thank you.